Mustangs fans. Josh Redmond here, voice of the Peoria Mustangs, with this edition of Around the Stable Coaches Show. You can see joined with Mustangs head coach Steve Ortman. Ort, one weekend in the books, 4 points on the weekend. Overall, as a coaching staff, how did you guys feel the weekend went?
I think it went pretty well. We weren't sure what to expect. It's always the first game, especially, is always interesting when you have that number of new guys in the lineup. We didn't have any video to get a game plan, so we had to fly by the seat of our pants a little bit, get kind of the basics down, and then tweak it as the game went on. And I think it worked out pretty well.
And kind of getting down to brass tacks, Friday night, 5-1 win, fell behind early. Milwaukee scored about halfway into the first period. Did you have any sense of feeling on the bench that these guys played with urgency, or were they just kind of still calm, cool, collected, and just playing the game?
No, I don't really think we ever hit the panic button at all. We, the coaching staff stayed calm on the bench. The players seemed to be pretty calm. We just had to do a little boosting of the morale and kind of keep them motivated and keep them going in the right direction and stick to the program. And they did. And, it was, to me, that first game was one of those things where Joe made a couple big saves early in the game. We could have been actually down 2 or 3 goals in that time span. But then if you look at flip the coin the other direction, we had about 5 posts in the game. So, it could have been an 8-goal game. It was just one of those nights, and they stuck to the program. And I think we got better as the game went on, and we got rewarded at the end.
And a great crowd on hand Friday night. And you could feel it. There was electricity in the air. About halfway through the second period, Ethan Chesney gets the equalizer on the power play. Good feed from Tristan Trudell. Ethan skates in, backhands a pass. I initially thought that it got turned aside. Puck rolled into the back of the net. About a minute and a half later, Ethan with his second of the game. And to me, I don't know how it felt on the bench, but the crowd just got extremely electrified. And it seemed like the boys were playing with a purpose after that. Is that how you guys were seeing it on the bench as well?
Oh, yeah. I would say Ches brings energy to every game. He's got a motor that doesn't stop. And when he got that second one and we took the lead there, you could almost feel like I don't want to say a sigh of relief, but almost like, okay, here we go. It's time. You could see the energy on the bench change, and everybody was just in a good mood and cheering each other on, and they just started rolling.
And the caveat to that is Joey Rancilio picking up his first NA 3-point, assisting on that game winner. And could you tell when that young man was coming back to the bench that he kind of just, to me, after that, it seemed like he played a lot more free and a lot more open.
Oh yeah. You know what? He's a very smart hockey player. He's learning every day. He wants to learn. When you talk to him about certain things, even during the game, when he came off after a shift, you'd say, hey, look for this or look for that, or if this happens again, do this. And you can tell he's just a sponge. He's soaking it all in. And he's going to be a very good player for us this year.
And that third period, put a little extra butter on the toast. Jacob Bland, SP, and Tristan scoring those insurance goals. Jacob Bland got that great feed from Moss there off of his foot, kicked it to Bland, and Bland went in just as smooth as can be, put the puck in the back of the net. Once again, getting that crowd electrified. And you think that actually carried over into those last 2 goals?
Oh yeah, for sure it did. They were rolling then, and I think every line wanted to be back on the ice again, just because, when things are going your way, you want to be on the ice as much as possible, and things were kind of going our direction. And I think that made everybody pretty motivated.
And you scratch the surface just a little bit with Joe making some big saves in the early going. Kind of fast forward to probably the 10-minute mark on, and Joe made a couple saves that really stuck out to me. He made the one on the breakaway. The pass came off a wall. I do believe it was at the conclusion of a Milwaukee power play. Raced in, Joe never gave up on the play. What do you say about a guy like that when you're up by 4 goals and he's still committed and 100% in the game?
Well, you know what? To me, that's Joe. Joe's a Mustang at heart, and he's the 110% guy. Um, his worst critic is himself, and he stayed focused through the whole game, made the saves that he needed to saves, and I was very happy for the kid after that game.
And one more thing before we bounce ahead to Saturday, couple 5-on-3 penalty kills. How do you feel that worked with the 5-on-3 penalty kills there in the second period and keeping you guys in the game?
To me, the 2 5-on-3 kills was the turning point as far as momentum. We kept the momentum by killing those penalties. Guys were blocking shots. They were doing whatever they needed to do. And like I said, we weren't sure what they were going to run on a 5-on-3 and exactly what power play they were going to run. So we just kind of got a basic game plan and routes and lanes that we wanted to take away no matter what they ran. And the guys did exactly what we wanted them to do. Block the shots that they needed to block and put pressure when they needed to put pressure, and it paid off.
And unofficially, according to my record, which we know my record may be out the window, Mustangs 2 for 7 on the power play Friday night. Are you happy with that 2 for 7, or are you just going to go back to work and try and tweak some things?
Oh no, we'll be tweaking some things with 2 power play goals for the first game of the year when we had probably 45 minutes of power play time practice going into the game. All in all, that's not too bad.
And we're going to bump ahead to Saturday night. Cam Pendleton between the pipes for the Mustangs. Once again, falling behind really early. And I'm sure knowing goaltenders and how they are, Cam would want that shot back 10 times out of 10. But nobody seemed deflated letting up a goal early. And the boys just kept working. And near the closing stage of that period, Ethan Chesney with his third of the season. And that absolutely seemed like it re-energized the offense as well moving forward into the second period.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Cam probably wasn't happy with that one going in. It looked like it kind of, from my angle, it looked like it snuck between his arm and his body a little bit, but that's going to happen. But from that stage of the game on for him, I thought he played an unbelievable game.
And moving to that second period, good period of hockey, just unable to get anything past Connor Carroll, who I thought played really well both nights. But gonna fast forward to the third period, JD Duenwald power play goal, first career goal in the NA3. And I like the play. I thought it was a smart play. He knew he had time. He knew he had space. He used his time and he used his space, put the puck in the back of the net, and he was charged up after that as well.
Oh yeah, he played that. I thought JD played way better the second game than he did the first game. Like he kind of got the feel for what he needed to do. He had a more physical presence in the second game, which he needs to do. And a funny story on JD. I always am the last one out of the locker room, and him and Tristan were walking out, and he's like, "Man, if I can just get the puck on the somewhere in the circle area with a little bit of time," he goes, "I know I can beat this guy blocker low." And he got it. This is like the whole story fell into place. He got the puck, he had time, and he put it blocker low, just like he said. So I felt happy for the kid. He played a great second game, and getting that goal, I think, is going to help his confidence.
And looking at the weekend as a whole, like you said, a lot of new younger guys. How do you think physically finishing checks and back checking, forechecking, those new guys as a whole, how do you feel that they did on the little things, the intangible parts of the game?
I thought our work ethic was good all weekend. I don't think that's going to be an issue for us this year whatsoever. I thought they worked for 60 minutes both nights. That was one of the things that we concentrated on practice, is making sure we were on our forecheck and our back check, that we were finishing, we had good sticks, and and putting our sticks in the right lanes and making sure we were getting our bumps. And that's pretty much what we worked on Monday and Tuesday for the whole practice was the little details like that, just to make sure that we were getting where we needed to be.
So looking ahead this weekend coming up, Friday night, Saturday night at the Owen Center, Oregon Tradesmen in town, looking up and down their roster. They've got a lot of guys that have NA3 experience, not necessarily with the Tradesmen organization, but whether it be North Iowa Bulls, Milwaukee Power, and like you said, not a lot of film out right now. Oregon has yet to play a game. What's the anticipation from the coaching staff of how they're going to come in and play?
Oh, I think their coach is a very good coach. He did a good job with their team last year. So I anticipate that it's going to be a harder weekend this weekend than it was last year or last week. So we're going to have to be, we're going to have to play very, very well, where our game's going to have to go to the next level to be able to compete with them. And I think they're going to be coming in, they'll have their first game excitement, nerves, whatever's going on, where we do have a little bit of ice under our belt right now. So it's going to be a very competitive weekend.
And, a little bit of a sore subject here, but not to be a fly in the ointment. You think these guys that were here last year have a little bit of a score to settle from that playoff series in March?
I certainly hope so, because it's been on my mind since that game. So I hope that those guys still have a little a burr under their saddle and have a little payback that they want to get. So, hopefully they have that motivation, and the young guys jump on their backs and follow their lead and skate the way they need to skate. And hopefully we can have two great hockey games.
Now, also looking ahead at this series, hoping that we get a crowd out at the Owen Center like we had this past weekend, kind of put a little bit of energy in the building. If it's a smaller crowd and a little bit of a quieter crowd, how do you think the boys on the bench are going to react?
I don't think it'll bother them too much. Even after our games this weekend, we had Dusty was announcing, and we had all this stuff we had to go, putting out the sponsors and making, more announcements than normal, just more than just the game day stuff. When we were on the bench, I couldn't have told you that Dusty was even in the building. So I'm sure that once the game gets going and they're dialed into what they're doing, they're not going to know if there's 700 people or 100 people in the stands. I think that once you get dialed into the game, you kind of tune everything out, and you're so focused on everything that's going on the ice that you don't really pay too much attention. So I don't think that'll have an issue on us.
I will say Saturday night I was down at warm-ups, and I was taking the GoPro off of Ches, and one of the newcomers was coming off right behind him, and he said, "Holy cow, there are a buttload of people here." And coming off right behind him was Jacob Bland. He goes, "Ice is still the same, man. We're going to play the same game."
Yep.
That leadership shown by Blando in that particular moment. I mean, that's one of them cool things, having 14 guys coming back. You have that leadership. And do you think even at this level, is that an advantage, having 14 guys that were in the lineup last year?
Oh yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, if you go through and you look at, if you would probably go back and check the rosters from the year before of a Granite or Roch and some of the teams that have success every year, most of those teams that Granite, if they can return 12, 13 guys, Rochester returns 10, 12 guys, and it adds so much to the base of your roster that it's definitely got to help.
Absolutely. Well, Mustang fans, like we said, this weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, 6 o'clock, both nights at the Owen Center, the Oregon Tradesmen in town. Come out, check out this team. Electrifying, exciting hockey at the Owen Center. Or thank you for taking a little bit of time here this evening and getting this Around the Stable Coaches show out there and kind of recapping the weekend and setting up for the weekend to come.
Oh, always a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right, Mustangs fan, this is Around the Stable Coaches show. Thank you for watching.